Thank you, Tim. Chronic diseases are the leading cause of death and disability worldwide. They affect 6 in 10 people. We all know a loved one that's been impacted by either cancer, depression, diabetes, inflammatory bowel, heart, or another chronic disease. What you might not know is that your gut health, and more specifically, your gut microbiome, which is the trillions of organisms that live in your gut, are actually a key missing piece in resolving many of those chronic diseases. And because of that, these organisms represent one of the biggest untapped opportunities to improve human health through testing, understanding, and treating your gut microbiome. So at Microba, over the past 4 years, we've built a world-leading precision microbiome company to unlock that market opportunity. And I feel like we're really now on the cusp of establishing a dominant global position in both microbiome testing and in therapeutic development from the microbiome to advance healthcare. Next slide, please. Microba is not your typical biotech company. We're commercial stage, already delivering global revenues. We have 2 core business segments. We have our microbiome testing services that are delivering global revenues through an expanding distribution partner network. And we have our data-driven drug discovery platform that's generating multiple novel therapeutic assets. To give you a summary of the investment highlights, we operate in an emerging market segment with strong growth and world-leading technology. We've established global microbiome testing distribution channels with over 20,000 tests sold to date. We've established partnerships with large multinationals, and we believe we have the best microbiome data bank in the world. And from that data bank, we have our first drug candidate scheduled to enter a phase 1 clinical trial later this year. In addition, we have an exciting cancer program together with leading cancer centres across North America and Australia. And underpinning all of this, we have a truly world-class team, including one of Australia's most distinguished clinical scientists, Professor Ian Fraser, who's the inventor of Gardasil, the cervical cancer vaccine, which is now a Merck-owned drug, which generates more than $3 billion in annual sales. So with all of this de-risking that we've completed, we felt it was the right time to accelerate the growth of our microbiome testing services and rapidly advance our key drug development programs. So just this week, we successfully completed an initial public offering on the ASX, which raised $30 million to support this growth. We have a long-term supportive shareholder base with international, institutional, family office and high net worth investors from across the globe, including the United States, London, Hong Kong and Singapore. And we also have some of Australia's most well-regarded small cap growth funds supporting us, including Perennial, Thorney and Alia. And through the IPO round, we also brought on board a significant strategic investor in New York Stock Exchange listed synthetic biology leader, Ginkgo Bioworks. Next slide, please. Our commercial opportunity to capture this market opportunity is summarised here. We deliver testing services globally to clinicians, consumers and research clients together with market-leading distribution partners. Those services build a large proprietary microbiome data bank with consented and de-identified customer data. And we then mine that data bank to discover and develop multiple novel therapeutic assets to ultimately execute pharma out-licensing transactions. Next slide, please. The reason why we have a competitive advantage in this field is because we have the world-leading technology for measuring the human gut microbiome. And we've demonstrated this technology as best in class, including through a recent peer-reviewed publication in Frontiers of Microbiology. So what I'll do now is I'll quickly take you through each of the 3 parts of Microba's business, starting with services, a quick overview of our data bank and our therapeutics. Next slide, please. One more forward. We're building a leading microbiome testing company through a globally scalable distribution partner model. We have a growing number of market-leading distribution partners that we have hand-selected to work with, and we have new partnerships which we've recently executed in the US and Middle East, and an expanding pipeline which we expect to all accelerate our revenue growth. Next slide, please. And here's what that rapidly growing distribution network looks like today. Focusing on the 3 recently executed partners, firstly, SynLab in the middle. They're Europe's largest pathology company. They're essentially the Sonic healthcare equivalent of Europe. And after a successful pilot last year, they committed to a formal launch in Spain and are now expanding that partnership across a number of additional countries across Europe. We also have 2 major new distribution partners recently signed, which are scheduled for launch soon. Genova Diagnostics, we signed just before Christmas. They're a leading GI pathology company based in the US, headquartered out of North Carolina. And that partnership will enable us to access and open up that US healthcare market. So we're excited to see that product launch into market before the end of this financial year. G42, we just signed in February, another exciting distribution partnership covering the Middle East. They're a leading health tech company and health services company headquartered in Abu Dhabi. They're very well capitalized. They recently raised $800 million led by Silver Lake to fuel their growth. And we also aim to see that product launch into market before the end of this financial year. There's also another partner, which we hope to announce soon at the end of that pipeline, and an expanding pipeline of new potential distribution partners for key regions that the team are targeting, including regions such as Canada, Japan, the United Kingdom, Germany, and Hong Kong. So we're excited about the growth profile ahead for this scalable international testing services business that we've built over the past 4 years. Next slide, please. In addition to growing international revenues, those revenues also generate high-value data, which enables us to discover and develop those novel therapeutics. Next slide, please. We believe this is the most valuable microbiome data bank in the world, which is continuing to grow as our services grow. And this enables us to leverage machine learning and artificial intelligence approaches to discover and develop multiple novel therapeutics to address major chronic diseases. And we focused on 3 key programs that we're executing today. Next slide, please. One more forward. We've established a unique, repeatable platform driving drug discovery from the gut microbiome. And that platform enables us to develop drugs in a fraction of the normal time, leveraging our big data approach. We have established 3 excellent drug development programs. Our first in inflammatory bowel disease, where our lead candidate is currently being manufactured in Switzerland, ready for a phase 1 clinical trial scheduled for the end of this year. We also have an exciting cancer immunotherapy program in partnership with leading cancer centres across the US and Australia. And finally, we have an exciting program which we just recently signed and initiated with strategic investor and drug discovery partner, Ginkgo Bioworks. And I'll give you some more detail on that exciting relationship. Next slide, please. Ginkgo Bioworks are a Boston-headquartered synthetic biology leader with a circa $5 billion market cap. And they're essentially seeking to become the Google of biology. They have some very well-regarded shareholders, including Bill Gates' private investment fund, Cascade, together with Viking, Baillie Gifford, Tiger, and a range of others. They have some big partners, including Roche, Bayer, and a range of others. And we've seen this as a fantastic marriage which brings together our therapeutic platform, the ability to find those key therapeutic organisms within the gut microbiome, together with what's known as their Ginkgo Foundry, which is a highly automated, large-scale synthetic and industrial biology facility based in Boston with those robots that you see on the slide. This essentially enables us to move rapidly with unprecedented scale to develop these novel drugs and their supporting data packages. So what this looked like is Ginkgo Bioworks invested $3.5 million into Microba's IPO as a cornerstone strategic investor. Then together, we're investing in a 2-year program of work to identify drug candidates for 3 key autoimmune conditions. So an incredibly exciting opportunity, particularly with such a validating and respected US partner. So in total, 3 excellent therapeutic programs, and each of these programs represent a substantial commercial opportunity. And with our progression into the clinic this year, our potent novel therapeutic assets and strong IP packages that surround them, we have that first big pharma deal in our sights. Next slide, please. In terms of big pharma deals, there continues to be strong deal precedents for microbiome-based therapeutics, with deals ranging between $500 million and up to $2 billion in total transaction value. Next slide, please. So to summarize the key take-homes, we're building a leading microbiome testing company with new distribution partners about to launch and a growing pipeline to open up additional major markets, all accelerating our global revenue growth. We have the best microbiome data bank in the world, and leveraging that data bank, our platform is delivering multiple therapeutic assets, setting up for those big pharma transactions. I'm excited about the year ahead. We have a lot of news flow with a range of key milestones and catalysts. We started the year with 3 big deals in Genova, G42 and Ginkgo Bioworks, but there's much more to come. For the services business, we'll see those distribution partnerships launch in the Middle East and the US, and commencing operations to launch into market. Further expansion across Europe with SynLab, Europe's largest pathology company. The launch of a next generation version of our healthcare testing product. And we hope to announce additional distribution partnerships, which are expanding with that pipeline targeting key major markets. And just to close out on the therapeutic side, a range of key additional milestones. For our IBD program, completion of our pre-IND meeting with the FDA, GMP manufacturing being complete, ethics approval to initiate that phase 1 study, and then phase 1 initiation and first dose in humans. For the cancer program, we aim to have initial data in hand to support lead selection and progression into preclinical validation. And that autoimmune program in partnership with Ginkgo Bioworks, well and truly into motion, developing those important novel therapeutics to treat 3 key autoimmune conditions. So I'll stop there and open up for questions.
Thanks, Luke. I've only got time for a couple. Big question. So how does the distribution and revenue model work for your testing services? And kind of who are your customers in regards to using that testing?
So I'll speak generally, not to disclose any specifics for a given partner, but the partner sells the tests for somewhere between $300 to $400. They produce the testing kit under license from us. They also handle all of the sales, marketing and distribution with their customers. We also enable them to perform the laboratory processing of the patient sample in their lab to produce the raw data. We then take in that raw data and process it with our world-leading technology to generate a report for the partner to deliver back to the patient. We charge them a per test fee of circa $90, and we earn a 95% margin on that per test fee. So it's a fantastic scalable business for Microba that's growing with the expansion of that international distribution partner network. In terms of who's ordering the test, we see that the typical customer is either a worried or proactively well individual looking to improve their health, or on the healthcare side, an individual that's working directly with a healthcare practitioner with either a gastrointestinal issue or a chronic health issue, which is driven by the microbiome.
Great, thanks, Luke. That's all we have time for. There's a couple of questions you could answer directly if you have time, but congratulations on your IPO.
Thank you, Jim.